Hello, my name is Olivia Brobin, and this is my submission for the Dawn and Alleen Nilsen Humor Scholarship Award. I will be teaching a more advanced, college-level understanding of the importance of context in a rhetorical situation. To do this, I will make use of a serious political negotiation between two historically rivaling constituencies, namely cats and dogs. To begin, a rhetorical situation is simply the circumstances of an event. If we can examine the circumstances of an event, we can come to a deeper understanding of the event itself. In high school, you were likely taught that the elements of a rhetorical situation are the context, the speaker, the purpose, the audience, and the message. In this presentation, we're going to focus specifically on context, and I want to encourage you to think of context as complex and layered. To do so, we're going to examine the complex backgrounds of two different speakers, and we're going to analyze the historical context surrounding their dialogue. In doing so, we will be better equipped to analyze what they are saying. With that said, let's jump right into the dialogue that we're going to examine. Once the animals have assembled, His Majesty Mr. Fluffington declares, "Mr. Woofs, since the great COVID-19, our people have been at war. When Julia started her remote job, she began spending more time with us, and your people have fought unfairly for more of her time. Your Highness, Mr. Woofs, it is time to end this chaos and reunite the kingdom." In response, Mr. Woofs says, "Mr. Fluffington, I did not come here to be fooled. I request that your Majesty treat me with respect that both my people and myself deserve." So, now at first glance looking at this dialogue, we see that both Mr. Woofs and Mr. Fluffington are negotiating reuniting the kingdom. And when Mr. Woofs says, "I did not come here to be fooled," it appears that he is being unnecessarily aggressive. With that said, let's go look into the personal backgrounds of both of these speakers so that we can better understand the dialogue. Our first speaker is Mr. Fluffington, a dictatorial tyrant bent on securing an unfair position in the household. As Julia's first cat, he knows that no matter the chaos he leverages between the dogs and the cats, he is guaranteed a revered position in the household. Mr. Fluffington is young, and he wants to prevent being overthrown. Our second speaker is Mr. Woofs, a populist, elected by the dogs under a campaign to reunite the household. He has been able to rally support by identifying as a common dog, a dog that any other dog could be. But if he is unable to meaningfully reduce tension between the cats and the dogs, he is at threat of impeachment. He will no longer have first privilege to the drinking bowl, and his political career will be forever shattered. So, now that we understand their personal backgrounds, we can see that both of these figures are negotiating reuniting the kingdom for both political and personal reasons. We can see that Mr. Fluffington's purposes are multiple. He wants not only to sustain chaos between the cats and the dogs, but he also wants to act in favor of the cats so that they do not overthrow him. Similarly, Mr. Woof's purpose is to reunite the household so that he can maintain his political rule. And now we can see that when Mr. Fluffington says it is time to end this chaos and reunite the kingdom, he's actually just flat out lying. Moving on, let's examine the historical context of this dialogue. Historically, the cats have agreed to multiple truces, but they've never followed through. Although the cats and the dogs would live in harmony for a time, it would only be a matter of weeks before the peace would be broken. The cats would always begin hoarding Julia's attention after she came home from Pilates. The cats would hide the tennis balls for when Julia goes to the park. And the cats would steal the polka-dotted dog collars, which are the ones that are the most fun to wear. Furthermore, due to the ruckus between the cats and the dogs, Julia has recently considered buying a spray bottle. Now that we understand the historical context, we can see that Mr. Woofs is right when he says that he does not want to be fooled by the cats, as the dogs have been many times. At the same time, the threat of a spray bottle is new, and the cats are more likely to hold a truce. So, when he says, "I did not come here to be fooled," he actually isn't lying. By examining the historical context, we can much better understand what's actually going on. We can also now see that the historical context is sedimentary. By examining complex and layered context, we can come to a deeper understanding of the meaning of a piece of dialogue. I hope you enjoyed watching this presentation, and thank you for watching. This is my works cited.